We are live. We are live. Maybe I'll hit him with the intro real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Just coming in early, making sure everything is straight. But what's going on, guys? You guys know what it is. It's Philly the podcast. We out here chilling, trying to act like I'm not, you know what I'm saying, nervous about this game. What's good to everybody? Make sure if you are joining to hit that link in the description so we can see your comments. You know what I'm saying? We got Brandon coming in. We got my boy Jose coming in. We're going to have some fun. We're going to chop it up. You know, I'm going to hit you.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday? Hopefully it stays beautiful for me. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we come out with this W. We're going to talk some Bengals versus Eagles. We're going to talk some NFL football in general. I am just waiting for my boys to hop on. They should be here any minute. If you are on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps a lot. I hope y'all ready for some football because I am. I am ready for some football. Got my coffee ready. About to get it going. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? This is definitely a must-win game, man. This is definitely a big one. This is definitely a big one. You know, it sucks that it's against the Bengals that we have to go out there and perform. You know, but we should. It should be a easy dub. You know what I'm saying? Never want to say that, but it should be an easy win, especially for Carson. Carson really needs this. Carson needs to show out. Make sure if you are part of the Facebook stream to go to streamyard.com/Facebook just so that they can see your comments, or so I can see your comments, I should say. My guy.
What up, Brody?
What's goody? We are live already, so you know what I'm saying. Just
All right,
but what's good, my dude? How you been, bro?
man. I've been good, bro. I've been good. Just been. It's been a busy couple of weeks, man. My cousin just got married like last week, and then we went to a
Hey,
whole trip in Miami for a whole week. So I've been drinking Douce and Henny all week, bro.
I feel
So
that. I respect that.
I'm just now.
Congratulations.
Oh, appreciate it, bro. It's actually it was my cousin's wedding, so yeah, it was really cool get to see that happen and all that kind of stuff. So
That's what's
I'm
up.
tired, bro. It's been a long couple weeks.
Well, hopefully now hopefully you won't add a headache to that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully
Oh,
this game
no.
goes right.
I know, bro. We've been playing like trash, bro. Like I can't believe it. I just
Yeah,
can't believe it.
we gonna go into everything. I'm trying to wait for Brandon, but we'll go into everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you saw Devonte Adams or Devonte, not Devonte
Freeman
Adams. Yeah,
went to the Giants for like a year.
yeah, that should be interesting. They should keep him when Saquon gets back. That'll be a nice little 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
And
definitely, definitely.
then hopefully maybe they get some offensive line. Who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe they start winning some games. It's
right.
it's it's funny though. Like we've been losing. We've been looking bad. I can't deny that. But it's funny when Giants fans are the ones telling you, like, bro, you guys haven't beat us in like 6 years, bro. Like, y'all really have no place to talk. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro.
Like, it is
Yeah,
what it is. Y'all haven't done anything in a long time.
facts.
But I'm excited, man. I'm like I said, this is gonna be a huge game for Wentz. So hopefully, he can do something because
Yeah, he's got to do something at this point because I mean, the first couple games, like the first game was okay. The offense just didn't come back with that power that they had in the first half. But that last game, bro, I was just like, bro,
it
like,
looked bad. It looked
yeah.
real bad.
And it
He
looked like it looked like the Rams had the better choice in drafting golf. You know what I mean? Like that's what it looks like, even though Carson has the accolades and stuff to go with, you know.
Yeah,
But
I mean, what's his name? McVay just basically outcoached Schwartz, like from
yeah,
beginning to end. He just like he
yeah,
was walking up and down the field. It wasn't even hard. It looked bad. We'll get into him too because I know you've probably been seeing me with the whole fire Schwartz thing. I'm trying to get that
yeah,
nigga
bro.
out of
I was
here,
about to
man.
say, like, bro, I think it's time for him to go. Like,
Bruh, it's he's crazy. So we'll get into the first topic that I wanted to go up with since we were talking about it anyways. What's really going on with Wentz? What are you seeing? What do you think it is? Do you think it's like his footwork or mental or what do you really think it is?
I think it's a combination of both. I think like I was reading some stuff earlier. It said like his footwork was a little bit off and his situational awareness. Like instead of just throwing the ball away when he's getting ready to get sacked or when he's in certain situations, he's always trying to force a pass. And I feel like those passes are what turns into turnovers. So I feel like those are his top two things that really kind of separate him from being an elite quarterback and just being like a good quarterback.
Yeah, and it's been 5 years, man. So it's not like you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's been like a one-off thing, like out of nowhere. He's been showing these type of traits for the whole time that we've had him, except now it's just coming out really, really, really
Exactly.
bad. You know what I'm
And I
saying? Now
mean,
it's
he
looking really
shows
bad.
flashes of being great. Like, he shows those flashes of and have times and have games to where you look at him and it's like, damn, like he could really be great. And then it's like most of the time it's like when you see those third downs and it's like he's in those pressure situations, it's like, come on, dude, like you've been in the league too long to still be trying to force that pass. Like, just throw
Facts.
it
Yeah.
away.
Facts. Yeah. No, that's a fact. And like I hope it's not mental because if it's mental, that's to me that's worse than if it's just his mechanics. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
if you're really nervous that you got Jalen Hurts behind you, but albeit he might be great. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's doing in practice, all like that. But if you're that nervous about a second round pick, bro, like you might not be NFL caliber, especially not Philly caliber, because we're savages. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let
Exactly.
you know.
And I feel like coming from North Dakota State, I feel like he never really had that competition. You know what I mean? He's always been like the top man. So to have somebody now who can really give him competition, and he's now in a league to where he can be exposed when he has bad games. When he's playing in college, he was the best there was the best team that they had. So it was
Exactly.
easy for him to have a bad game and to be like, oh, it's just Carson. Oh, he'll do better next week.
Yeah.
Whereas in the NFL, it's like, well, you got this guy, you got Russell Wilson, you got Jared Goff, and you got Cam Newton. You got so many other guys on so many different teams who are fighting for the same thing that you're fighting for. That it's not just you can't just come in with that oh it's okay attitude. You got to have that mentality, especially like you said, Philly fans and the Philly teams are savages. Like we'll get you out of there if you're not doing the job. And I feel like as a
Exactly.
leader, you have to have that confidence in yourself, even if you're having a bad game or having a bad week. You have to have that confidence in yourself to still be able to go out and tell your team, like, look, guys, I know I fumbled the ball the last couple of weeks, but this is what the game plan is. And I feel like he doesn't have that quality in his leadership, and I feel like it's starting to show.
Yeah, we got to see. He has to come out and ball today. Like, obviously we need the win, but even if we lose, it can't be his fault. If it's his fault, man,
It's gonna be time to make some movements.
stuff's gonna be talked about, especially against I don't want to sit here and act like the Bengals are they were the worst team last year, but they are a decent team. Joe Burrows is a good quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And we're not a good team right now. So,
Exactly.
but their defensive line is beat up. They have some, injuries on that defense that we have to be, they have to be accounted for at the end of the day. So if he can't play well against this team, like you said, things are going to have to be talked about. We're going to have to figure something out because we can't keep going at this pace, especially with the amount of money we gave him. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And I was thinking about that earlier. It's like we're kind of in a situation where it's like, do you want to take this man that you just invested $160 million in and literally take him and put him on the bench for a rookie? But I mean, from a sports perspective, I understand that. We just talked about that like 2 weeks ago. Football and every sport are there sports where it's opportunities. So if somebody's not playing right and not performing up to the expectations, then the next man up. But at the same token, it's like you want to it's like investing $160 million in a business and putting it to the side and not making it a priority. Do you want to do that with the guy that you gave $160 million to lead your team? So that's just the kind of things that we gonna have to worry about, that we
Yeah.
are worrying about.
And it becomes a quick because I mean, like you see the situation we are in with Alshon Jeffrey. So if it comes to the point that you really want to trade this guy, who's gonna? I mean, I don't want to say who's gonna take him because at the end of the day, he has talent. But it's like we're not gonna get nowhere near the investment that we made into him.
Exactly.
So like you said, are you gonna really just bench him? I think at this point, we haven't started 0-3 since McNabb's rookie year. So, and that year, I think we ended up like 5-11. So, I'm not trying to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not
Exactly.
what we signed up for. This is not the year that, in year 5 on your 5th year option, what you would be, but now you have a contract. But this would be technically your 5th year option. This is supposed to be your prove it year. And
Exactly.
the way we are starting, he's not proving the right stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's not proving what we need him to prove. But, we'll see what he does. I'm trying to look at. So let's kind of piggyback off of that. And what would you say is like your biggest concern outside of Carson right now for the Eagles?
Outside of Carson, I would say our receivers, man. Like we have injuries to Alshon and now Rager. So I feel like that's definitely going to mean that we're going to have guys like Arcega-Whiteside who are going to have to step up. We're going to have to start including both of our tight ends, which I'm not saying that we don't, but I feel like we're going to have to start definitely running a 2 tight end set a lot more. And we're going to have to start incorporating guys other than Miles Sanders and running the ball. Like we're going to have to spread the ball a lot more now because we don't have Alshon and we don't have Rager. We still have Deshaun Jackson, who's our top receiver, but our top receiver is only 5'10", 5'11",
No,
So you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we have to look into our offensive scheme and figure out how we're going to be able to spread the ball amongst the receivers that we do have and be able to make that work because we can't just make Miles Sanders a workhorse because he'll end up like Saquon.
What's good, Brandon?
How's
What's
it
going
going,
on,
guys?
How you doing, brother?
Not much.
He
That's a
came
good
in like
little
right in the
segment
middle of
there.
the speech. He was like,
I was like, oh.
yeah. So we'll get back to this real quick, but I want to double back because we were talking right before you had came in. Not that we're not talking about that. We were talking about what's up with Wentz. So I kind of want to get your opinion on like, do you think it's all mental? Do you think it's more to that? We got a Cincinnati Bengals fan in here.
I think it's mental. I think he wants to relive the 2017 hype a little too much. I don't know. I mean, it definitely has to do with mental because I mean it's accuracy. He had like 20 missed thrown balls or something like that, like non-accurate thrown balls last game. And some of these throws are easy, and he's just making little mental mistakes, fundamental mistakes, and then wanting to have that big play, wanting to, for instance, that interception that was unnecessary. You could have hit somebody else underneath. I mean, we're going in there to win the game, and it's only the third quarter when that happened too. So, granted, you could say, "Oh, yeah, we threw an interception," but that was just momentum building. But it was only the third quarter, so you take the check down there. You don't need to go for the home run. Do an intermediate throw, get the first down, and keep moving. So I think he's too much trying to get those big splash plays, and on top of that, he's not really using his legs as much. Like if you look at his
Yeah.
highlights, a lot of his highlights is him like juking out defensive linemen and going up the field for a couple yards or moving around the pocket. Now it just looks like he's trying too hard to be a pocket passer, and it's not who he is. He's not he's not Kyler Murray and he's not Lamar Jackson by any means. He doesn't have that kind of speed, but he was the magician at one point. He had elusiveness that was like kind of Big Ben worthy, like how Big Ben, you wouldn't think he was elusive, but Big Ben's kind of elusive. At least he used to be. But we don't see that right now. Now we're looking at him backing up 20 yards and like not really going anywhere because he's looking downfield too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mental. I think his coaches need to give him a slap in the face and be like, bro, step up. Like,
I mean,
yeah,
I hope it's not mental. That was the one thing I said. I hope it's not mental because that's worse than it being his mechanics, in my opinion. But we'll see. This is the game he has to kind of shut everybody up.
They need someone to yell at him. Something. I don't know.
He said he's just not Joe Burrows. Yeah, that's fine. We'll see what Joe Burrows becomes. I don't know. We'll see what Joe Burrows becomes.
I was pretty impressed with Joe Burrow, though. He threw for 61. He threw 61 times and no interceptions in one game. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, granted,
the fact that he
that's
threw
a
61
lot of
times is
throwing,
ridiculous. I can't believe they did
exactly.
Like that's kind of crazy. But I mean, it is what it is. I guess they don't have Joe Mixon,
Right.
That's like, but
fantasy football pickup.
I wouldn't mind them throwing 61 times against us. I would take my chances. I think Joe Mixon will have a bigger game against us if they let him than Joe Burrows would, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. So to piggyback off of the Carson thing, so we're going to kind of take Carson out of the equation here. But what would be your biggest concern about the Eagles so far?
Defense. I think that's kind of been what we've been talking about lately. I know you've been stressing defense, Castro. Yeah, I think that's one of our biggest issues. Granted, we need to get points on the board. We've only scored 20 last game and 17 the game before that, or I think but we need to get more points on the board. Offense needs to flow better, but the fact that we were like the number one rush defense, or not the number one, we were top in our rush defense last year and years before that, and then all of a sudden last week against the Rams, we looked like we couldn't stop the run for anything. And if it was the wide receivers, backup running backs, third string running backs, Jared Goff, I think, had like 9 yards. Like we couldn't stop anybody. So I think if we can stop the run today, I think that's going to play it's going to be a big help for us. And maybe we'll get Carson comfortable. And I guess another thing was just like, they kept scoring touchdowns after every drive last game. Like the first 3 drives were all 3 touchdowns for the Rams. And that puts the pressure on the offense as well to try to catch up and like keep up with that instead of having like, all right, that's our warm-up drive. The next drive we can go out there and get it. So if the defense can shut them down early today, I hope we should win this game.
Yeah, like I said, we've talked outside of this, and it's like the first game I kind of gave Carson a pass just because that the offensive line was so bad, and with that you give the defense a pass because they were playing such short fields. But that second game was just we were getting bullied.
Bro, that was ridiculous.
Like we're paying a lot of money for that defensive line, lot of money. And for them to get bullied around like that, at least be top 10 in running, in stopping the run, I should say. That give me that. If we're going to give you that much money, be
Right.
top 10 there. You know what I'm saying? You can't control passing. It is what it is. But come on, bro. Y'all were getting thrown around. Like, it was
Yeah,
embarrassing. Like, now staying on that train, like, would you say that Jim Schwartz is on the hot seat now?
You can go ahead, Rod.
I would definitely say he is on the hot seat. We talked about that earlier, and I mean, I just feel like, it's like we're adding to our defense, and it seems like when our defense is starting to get healthy, it looks like we're still playing the same way that we were playing, before. We got Slay, we got a couple additions to the defense in the secondary, and it still looks like we're the same secondary so far. And I feel like to be investing that kind of money and be putting those people, you got players who we know can play the game, but we've been still running the same defensive scheme for the last 5, 6 years, especially since that Super Bowl run. And just like you said earlier, Joe, I feel like we're living off that Super Bowl hype. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like by now, a lot of teams and every team knows, like, okay, this is the Eagles' defense. This is their offense. This is their weaknesses. This is their strengths. All we got to do is stop this. And, or all we got to do is do this on the offense, and we win the game. And I feel like Schwartz just isn't. He's not trying to mix it up. He's not trying to change anything. He's not trying to do anything to kind of, just kind of mix it up a little bit to make it seem like we're at least trying to show effort that we're going to come a different way and not approach every game the same exact way. And I
Facts.
feel like that's just, you don't even have to really watch film when it comes to our defense because it's exposed almost every
Right.
week.
Right.
Same exact thing. Big shout out to Y Sway and Eagles season. Y Sway basically said the same thing as you, though. He said our D line should destroy the O line, hoping Jim Schwartz disguises some blitzes or starts to because he never does.
Right.
So that, basically hit it on the head for what you said. What are you thinking, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, in his press conferences, he's always talking about, I try to simplify things for the players, blah, 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 blah. But you're a defensive coordinator. You got to make this stuff tricky for the
Yeah.
opposing offense. It's a chess match. It's not supposed to be checkers. Like, you need to hopefully have competent enough players to be like, all right, I know on this blitz package, I'm slowly creeping up here. I'm running around there. Like, you got to know all these things. And that's being part of being in the NFL is to be able to understand NFL type playbooks and different defensive schemes and plays. So he needs to get into his defensive coordinator hat because, I mean, that's what he was pretty much known for, was being a pretty solid defensive coordinator. I think that's probably one of the reasons why he got his head coaching stint in with Detroit. But obviously head coaching is not for him because that didn't work out too well. But the fact is that he got that opportunity, which means he has to be somewhat of a competent coach or a pretty good coach to even get the ability to be a head coach. So I'm hoping that he starts to be like, all right, I can't just keep it simple, because when you keep it simple for our players, you're keeping it simple for theirs as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, if you remember, a couple of years ago, we were talking as fans that we might lose Jim Schwartz to go be a head coach again, and now look at him. Nothing's changed, though. And like, to Rod's point, you haven't seen a change in his defense at all. Everything has been the same. And if you're simplifying it, that's fine. Okay, you're simplifying it. Why do we have such young linebackers then? Why are we playing 3 linebackers then? If you weren't going to have any good linebackers, why are we playing packages where they're playing man on some fast wide receivers?
Right.
It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the stuff that Jim Schwartz is doing, yes, maybe in some cases he doesn't have the best talent, for certain packages, whatever. But then don't run those packages as much. We ran the same thing over and over against the Rams, and it did not work once. It didn't work once. You know what I'm saying? And if we do that against the Bengals, we're going to get torched again. Joe Burrows is not an idiot, and they spread the field out a lot. That's what kind of concerns me the most. So, like, you already know my answer to this whole question. Jim Schwartz is definitely on my hot seat.
Yes,
I need him to figure it out, and I need him to figure it out quick. Because even with him as our defensive coordinator, we can be good enough. You know what I'm saying? If he can, like you guys said, to like everybody's saying, you got to blitz. You got to send some pressure, get out of man every single time, and, make these quarterbacks think. So I think we can be good enough to make the playoffs, with that being said. What do you guys think about Mr. Dougie P? Is Doug Peterson on the hot seat? If we go 0-3, like I said before you got on here, Brandon, this would be the first time that we went 0-3 since McNabb's rookie year in '99. We went 5-11 that year. So I don't know if I'd be willing to go through that again.
I mean, do you want to take this one first?
I mean, yeah, I can. So me personally, the only way I would put Doug Peterson on the hot seat is if he sticks to Carson when it's clear he needs to go. You know what I'm saying? So like if it becomes a thing that it's like, bro, Carson's killing us, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes we're a quarterback away from being a solid team and his own personality gets in the way of that, then yeah, he's on the hot seat and it's time for him to start figuring it out. But right now, I'm more concerned about the defense. That's me. We got a guest real quick. Okay, my boy Uno. Eagles fan up in this.
Hey.
What up,
goody,
y'all?
what's goody?
What's
What
going
up,
on, bro?
fellas?
So right
What's
now
going
we're on is Doug Peterson on the hot seat. So my answer was real quick to keep you up to date. I was saying, you know, if he gets in the way of us having to make a quarterback change, say, you know, Carson's doing really, really bad, then it's time, you know, he might be on my hot seat. But as of right now, I don't think so. I don't know who wants to take it next. You guys, you know.
Listen, here's my
Give
theory.
it to Jose.
Listen,
There we go.
here's my theory on this whole Dougie P thing, because honestly, I'm kind of fed up with it. And I feel like because we won the Super Bowl in 2017, he'll get the benefit of the doubt. Management is going to give him the benefit of the doubt no matter what record we finish with this season. Just based off, he got us the ring. You know what I mean? But my theory is, in reality, our offense hasn't been the same since Frank Wright left. Our offense has not been the same. And I feel like Wright was the one calling the plays. Carson had his best season under Wright. And, you know, like ever since then, the plays have been questionable, really questionable, honestly. And I just don't know when it comes to, like, you know, I love Dougie P because he's a player's coach, you know, but at the same time, maybe we should bring in an offensive coordinator that, you know, knows how to call plays, situational plays, you know, like
offensive coordinator at all, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of ridiculous at this point because the thing that we all heard this offseason was speed, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, they're bringing in so much speed. Oh, we're going to stretch the field. Dude, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Dallas Goedert's caught the deepest pass this year from and he's a tight end. That's unacceptable, dude. That's unacceptable. Like,
yeah, we've ran a lot of 12 personnel.
I get it. Rager's hurt. I get it. Deshaun Jackson is iffy. I get it. We don't have Alshon. I get it. But the thing is that I noticed is that when Carson, like the week 1, he threw to Hightower like 3 times and Hightower dropped the ball, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't. Week 2, he did not go back to him. Like, he doesn't have faith in those guys yet. And you can see it. You can see it. And what teams are going to do is they're going to just, all right, we're going to take Ertz away and let's see what you can do. And that's what happened last week. They took Ertz and Goddard right out the game. And even when like Goddard beat Ramsey on that play, even when he was open, Wentz didn't see it. Yeah, it's like it's a confidence thing, man. At this point, it's a confidence thing. It's a play calling thing. And I had overheard you right before I came in. You said you're more worried about the defense. I think the defense can get it together. I think that, you know, our secondary, like Mills is in a new position. Slay's still trying to get adjusted to this Jim Schwartz defense, which I seen your status the other day, Joe. You're right. Jim Schwartz got to go. Yeah. That bend but don't break thing is I'm done with it, dude. We need to start blitzing. We need to start blitzing, dude. We have, especially like we drafted speedy linebackers who could blitz.
Right.
Like Davion Taylor, he needs to get more burn. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes that we drafted need to play. You know what I mean? Like TJ Edwards he had a pretty decent game last week, but I'm done with Nate Geary. He could go. Like
you literally just said what Wise Sway said. He said, am I the only one wanting to know why Sean Bradley and Davion Taylor are 4 or 5 linebackers?
Dude, these dudes are fast.
They're not doing good. TJ Edwards is okay. That's funny that you basically said it. So what are you thinking, Braden? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, do I think Peterson's on the hot seat? Not entirely. He has a good record so far. I mean, 3 out of 4 years playoffs, Super Bowl win. There's coaches that, like Marvin Lewis, for instance, was in Cincinnati for like 10 years and I don't even know if he won a playoff game, and if he did, maybe one. I forget
Nah,
what it is.
he never won one.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. He
won
never
one.
won one. So I mean, I don't think he's on the hot seat, but he definitely, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not in there every single day. I'm not at practice. I'm not anything. All we see is what we see on TV. And it just seems like maybe he's too much of a player's coach, where he's trying to be too nice to the players, rather than kind of being like a hard ass about it. I definitely feel like some of the players do need that. They need that, like, kind of constructive criticism that kind of like goes at them a little bit, not to the level that, like, I guess Matt Patricia did in Detroit, where Slade was like, he tried to attack my character, but to the point where, like, you kind of like light a fire in these guys. So I don't think he's on the hot seat per take, but he definitely needs to step up a little bit. Play calling has been wishy-washy. The first week, all they wanted to do was throw deep. That failed us in the end because we already had a lead. And then last week, they didn't throw any deep passes. They said because of the coverage, but you can get those people to creep up if you're running the right plays. If you're getting the run established, play action is working intermediate, they creep up, you go deep. It's basic a little bit.
And I feel like ever since we won the Super Bowl, we've ran the ball less and less and less. Like the year we won the Super Bowl, we were the best running team in the entire league, which made us so dangerous because we ran the ball first, second down, and we were the best team on third down in the whole league.
That was key right there. That was one of Wentz's biggest stats was third down efficiencies.
But it's the
unpredictability. It's the unpredictability. I think you can look at it on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the Eagles' offense is very predictable now, and the Eagles' defense is very predictable now. So it's like you're getting, like Rod said it best. You know exactly what you're getting with the Eagles. You don't have to watch film on this. You know exactly what you're gonna get every week. So, like, with that being said, Rod, do you think Pederson's on the hot seat?
Man, I feel like at this point he is. I mean, I'm kind of like Brandon, like he's not on the hot seat, but at the same time, like, you're the head coach. Like, you have a say in how some of these plays are being called. You have a say in who your offensive coordinators and your defensive coordinators are. You have a say in what players are going to be ran. Like, you're the head coach for a reason. And I feel like for you to have that much confidence in your coordinators and it's still not being effective, you as a coach, you need to come in and say, hey, this is not working. Either we need to change this, or me and Howie gonna have a talk, because we're getting to the point to where, like I've been saying, like, our offense and our defense is very predictable. And I mean, if you're not going to step in as the head coach and at least make some of those last minute changes yourself, because obviously Carson's not going to do it. You know what I mean? We see that on offense. He's not going to do it. And defense, I mean, our defense, Jim Schwartz doesn't make very good play calling decisions, and we see that on the field. We see our secondary still getting burnt. Like I said, we got Slay in there, and we're still, I mean, like you said, Slay is still kind of getting adjusted, so he kind of gets a pass. But at the same time, you're a Pro Bowler. You know what I mean? So I don't really give that an excuse. I don't give that as a reason to make an excuse for why he's still not, fully adjusted to our playing scheme. But we have Jim Schwartz as our defensive coordinator, and like I said, we don't have to watch film on our team to know what we're going to do and what our weaknesses are. We don't change anything up. We don't switch anything up. And I feel like at the end of the day, that comes from Doug Pederson. I feel like Doug Pederson needs to step up and say, hey, this is what we need to do. Y'all need to switch it up and do something, because these guys are doing the same thing to us week in and week out, and we're not changing nothing.
As an organization, I think we have a big accountability problem. Huge accountability problem. And it starts from the owners down. It starts from Lori down, because they don't hold Howie accountable enough for the draft picks that he's made decent draft picks. But, dude, like, I can look at, like, okay, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, second round. Really? Like, come on. Like, we're doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like, he's had, like everybody gives Howie, because, oh my God, after Chip Kelly kind of got rid of him, and then he came back, and then he drafted, decent players. I guess I don't know what draft it was, but I think it was the draft that had what draft was it? That had what was it? The Barnett draft? I think it was that draft.
2017.
That draft had, I think we drafted like Salem Malu in that draft, and like a couple other players that are still on our team now, and he gets credited for that, and that helped us win a Super Bowl, whatever. But to me, he's had questionable draft picks, like really questionable draft picks. And when it comes to like, I don't know, I guess when it comes to what the fans think is right, I guess they don't really listen. They don't really listen to us. Like they don't really listen to like, granted, we're not the experts, but at the same time, like, dude, if it's apparent that you can trade up, not give too much up and trade up and get CeeDee Lamb, you should have done. You should have did that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You should have absolutely did that. And like the draft, I forgot who we drafted in the first round. What was it? The Dillard draft? We could have gotten a few. We could have gotten DK Metcalf last year. That's another guy that I always think about in my head because he scorched us last year in the playoffs.
Yep.
So I always think about that. Like he went in the third round. We picked up another wide receiver before him in the second round. That's trash. I mean, JJ has not proven me anything yet.
But
nothing.
Is it JJ or is it the schemes and the play calls? That's my with players hurt today. I want to see, are they going to call his number? Like, are they going to have him work to his strengths? Like when he was drafted, all I heard was red zone, boxing out. Like this dude was like a basketball player playing wide receiver. And yet he never gets any red zone targets. The one time he does, he's double covered on a post route that even if that corner wasn't there, he was about to get laid the F out by the safety. Like the safety was literally right there. Like,
you're right about targets. I don't think you're right. Maybe he hasn't gotten enough targets. Maybe I'm writing him off too quick. But my only thing with him is I feel like if you're looking at this team, you're looking at this roster, all your receivers are hurt. You got to step up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, regardless of, they gave him, like, even last year, like when we got all those players hurt and he played against the Lions, he had that crucial drop against Detroit that probably would have won us the game. You know what I mean? So it's like, and from what you see from coaching staff, they don't have the patience to really develop these guys. Like,
that's another big question is player development.
Yeah, we're under expectations of playoffs, like championship games or bust. Like, because we won the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's kind of unrealistic because we don't have those same rosters anymore. But my thing with that is it's just expectations versus reality. You know what I mean? And they don't want to have to develop these guys. They wanted these guys to come in polished. And from what I heard, JJ was training hard in the offseason. Like I've watched interviews with him and stuff. And it seems like he was ready to take that step, but I guess in training camp they thought differently because they had Hightower on the field week 1,
and he got some good targets too.
Well, I'm telling you, I think they kept trying to do the whole speed thing week 1. They try to overplay their hand, like everyone's been saying, ESPN, everyone. Once we were up 17-0, we didn't really need to try to keep stretching the field that game.
Yeah, we played like it was Madden or something.
Yeah, like you know what? Let me just launch the ball again. Oh, let me launch the ball again.
And another thing is that if we can't run the ball, what the hell happened to the screen game? Because the screen game was like our signature.
It was gold.
Dude. That used to be our thing.
We run the same like 4
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if we don't have, you know what I mean? And we have our linemen, granted, like, they've been in and out. You know what I mean? But we still have, 3 of our linemen that we've always had that can run it. You know what I mean? And
so let's bring it to that because we got Jason Peters obviously starting at left tackle. We got Nate Herbig now moving to left guard. I can't talk. We got Nate Herbig moving to left guard. Obviously, Kelsey's in the middle. Then we got Matt Pryor coming back to right guard, and then Lane Johnson. Now, honestly, I liked Matt Pryor on right guard last year, I should say. So this is what we're going with. Sway says is the starting lineup. Do y'all believe in Matt Pryor? He said he's a little bit iffy about it. Like I said, I like Matt Pryor. I think he plays better maybe than he practices because last year he played well. He did well for us. What do you think, Rod? Are you buying into, Matt Pryor as our starter?
I think Matt Pryor is a good fit. I mean, I feel like at this point we need somebody who's willing to step up and play the position because we don't really we're injury prone like we've always been. So I feel like what I read that the reason why he's playing right guard is because he felt more comfortable being on the right side than the left side. So I feel like as a player, if you feel like you're more confident in playing on the right side and you have somebody that can play on the left side, then as a coach, you should let the guy who's more confident play on the right side. So I feel like him giving him that opportunity. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm happy about, him getting the opportunity to be able to play that right guard position, because I think he's better on the right side as well.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to hope that a guy that's been in the league for a little bit now and has gotten some burn can at least hold it down a little bit, especially next to being in between Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. I mean, you could probably learn so much from them. Probably have Brandon Brooks at least giving him some tips over the phone and stuff. But yeah, you just got to hope that he's a little bit better than the rookies. I mean, you got to give the rookies a chance to really get the practice in, really get everything going. And making sure that they're understanding everything on an NFL level. So, I mean, I have hope for Matt Pryor. I really don't have too high, any expectations really for him. I just hope that he can at least get his job done, so then Wentz can feel comfortable.
And the fact that we're getting younger is always a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to linemen, that's always a good thing. Because we need that. We need that depth. You know what I mean? When Brooks comes back, we know that's his spot. Brooks is the best right guard in football when healthy. Period. But it's good to have a solid backup just in case. And these last 2 years, Brooks has been hurt, so it's good to have that depth for sure.
Yeah, if you look at it, we got now Herbig is kind of standing out. Jack Driscoll, in my opinion, had a really good game when he got his burn. So like you said, we're getting younger, and we do have a couple solid backups. Maybe we can actually trade somebody instead of just letting them walk like we did with Big V. But that's
I think. All right, I want to see what you guys think of this. How do you guys feel about trading Dillard after this season?
I think it's open.
Driscoll
We're open to that.
Because my only thing with that is I always felt like that pick was a reach. I've always felt that way about him.
My thing would be, what would his value be? If we can actually get like a first rounder back, then yeah, I mean maybe.
I don't think we would. I don't think we would.
Yeah,
we'd be lucky to get like a fourth for him. But
that's what I'm saying. Pick. I don't think we would get anywhere close to what
unless it was a package.
Gave up for him. I think unless it was that's very true. If we packaged him to get maybe like a solid wide receiver or something like that, or maybe another D line, or something that we actually need, a linebacker. Then I could see something like that, and maybe put Driscoll over there. But if we're just going to give him up just to give him up, at this point, I think we need to have the depth. I'd rather have another left tackle because JP's gone next year.
He's gone next year.
So
he just needs to retire.
Yeah, he's
a Hall
of
Famer. Yeah, we are lucky to be. honest,
honestly, like that kind of worked out for us.
Yeah, it really did,
because we would be kind of up Poops Creek. We still have Jamon Brown.
Still kind of.
Yeah, we still have that. But Jamon Brown, the guard that we just picked up off of the practice squad. I forget the team that we took him from. But either way, he's supposed to be good. He used to be a starter last year. So maybe he gets some run at guard if, Matt Pryor and Herbig start slacking. But while we're talking about replacements, obviously, like the biggest news this week is Jalen Reagor being hurt. So I want to know who you guys think will replace Reagor this week, like as far as production goes.
Greg Ward.
He needs to. He needs to. He needs to step up.
And to me, he should have been a starter week 1 just based off what he did all last year. Because none of these rookies proved anything. To me, nothing. Like Greg Ward was literally like, he was one of the bigger reasons that we even made the playoffs last year, because we didn't have no reliable targets, and Wentz was finding him, and he was huge on third down for us last year.
Yeah,
just moving the chains. Like we don't need to throw the ball deep. We just need a guy who can run those slants, those outs, those ends, get us those first downs. Let's just move the chains. 3 and outs, we can't have those. We can't. Against this team, this Cincinnati team, this is a sneaky good team. They're 0-2, but Joe Burrow threw the ball 60 times last week. They believe in this dude.
And they've had 3 days extra rest.
Ross is fast as hell. AJ Green, you can't sleep on him. Tyler Boyd is good. Ross. Joe Mixon is the way that the Rams were running the ball against us. I don't want Joe Mixon to run the ball against us like that. Dude, we can lose this game. We can absolutely lose this game. It's not. We can't sleep on the Bengals at all.
Facts.
At all.
We lost to a team with no name. Like that's my thing though. I want to know what's going on with what happened last year. I feel like last year was working. We were doing well. Even in the playoff game, we lost our quarterback and then we lost our backup quarterback's hamstrings, and we were still able to move the ball against Seattle. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on. I feel like everything just they were like, oh no, everything worked out, but
I
let's
mean,
not do
everything
that
worked out,
anymore.
but at the end of the day, we were only 9-7 last year. That means
I mean, but
we
towards the end of the year when you saw like the shift in the offensive game plan, you know, with the quick screens and stuff like that, I feel like they're moving away from that. So I don't know, like that's just me though. And then my boy says JJ Whiteside was talking with the training staff. He's active and playing, but the report says that's something to watch. Hopefully he doesn't play. To be honest. He's trash, bro. I
Dude,
said though, I
I'm
want to
tired
see
of him
them.
already, and it's sad, dude.
I
Because
want to see them get more. What's his name? Greg Ward involved. I want to see Quez Watkins when he gets back more involved. John Hightower was getting open. He's just not very aggressive at the point of catch, which is important, especially in the NFL. But he has to work on that. But he was getting open. His route running was good. He was, doing what he
I
was supposed to
remember a
do.
guy that we had who got open a lot, but didn't catch the ball. Right?
Yeah,
We all
but
know
look
who.
at him now. He's
Hey,
got more touchdowns than our whole wide receiving core.
Right.
hey, listen. Sometimes a change of scenery is, dude. We shitted on him as fans. We shitted on him.
We do. We
So,
do it to
yeah.
everybody.
hey, yeah, it is what it is. But
So who do y'all think will replace Rager?
I think this might be a big Zach Ertz game. Zach Ertz has been kind of quiet the last 2 games. So I really think that Wentz is going to kind of get back to his safety net, get it to Ertz frequently, and then once they get their best defend on Ertz, and then it's going to be Goddard. I think it's going to be a tight end type game, running the ball. If you ever notice, like Doug Peterson's patterns, he'll have a game where he runs the ball a lot, and we end up winning that game. And then we're like, that's what we're talking about. Run the ball, get the running backs involved. And then the short pass game, blah, blah, blah. And then the next game, he completely leaves it to the wayside. So I think this might be one of those run the ball games.
and I think Miles will be more healthy for this game too.
I mean, he had
For
20.
sure.
He had 20 touches running the ball and like 3 catches. So he had the ball in his hands. I think he should have ran the ball maybe like 5 more times, give him like 25 carries, especially on that drive where Wentz threw that interception. Like if you ran the ball on second down and it maybe been third and short, or maybe he breaks one. But you just got to. It's a game of chess. You got to be strategic with all this stuff.
Facts.
I mean, we only got 3 running backs, and one of them is Boston Scott, so he's more of like a catch and space running back. So pretty much Sanders is like a bell cow. Like we need to run him like a bell cow. We need to run him like the Cowboys run Zeke, especially if we don't have receivers. You know what I mean? Like this is the thing that kills me. The Cowboys have 3 great receivers, right? And they still give Zeke the ball at least 25 times a game.
Right.
That's
the key.
We got to run the ball. Like,
And they run a
can't
lot
be
of
one
plays.
dimensional.
That's what we want to do. We want to hold the ball. We want to, and you go back to like you said, 2017 if you want to stay on the Eagles, but you even go back to when he was in Kansas City. Doug's known to run the ball. That's what he did before. You know what I'm saying? It was more in a committee type fashion, but he wasn't Andy Reid when it came to running the ball. They had that yin and yang going. That's why they worked well together. So it's kind of annoying and frustrating to see him kind of take on the whole Andy Reid persona. But what are you thinking, Rod? Who do you think is going to take over?
I'm looking to see something from Whiteside. I'm looking to see something from Whiteside because, like my man said, he's a second round pick. We pretty much at this point wasted a second round pick on him. And I mean, at this point in your career, like we drafted you for a reason. And if you haven't stepped up yet, like we have Alshon out and we also have Rager out. And I feel like Alshon's been out since halfway last year and you still didn't even show any type of growth at that point. So I feel like now if you're not showing any growth, then that's just a factor that means that we need to get you out the way and make room for another receiver, or Quez Watkins, or Hightower. Like you said, he doesn't have very good hands, not very aggressive when it comes to catching the ball, but that's something that can be taught. Like you can learn how to be aggressive and catch the ball. Your route running, your footwork, and all that stuff. That's things that take a little bit more time to learn. And I feel like just overall, like you said, we're going to have to start running the ball. We've always been off a running team, and I feel like now we're starting to try and throw the ball to the receivers more. We can all see that Carson is not confident when he's on the field. He's not confident when it comes to those third down situational plays where he should be throwing the ball out of bounds, throwing the ball away. He's still trying to force those passes in and get that first down. And then Doug Peterson is coming out and running the ball on like 4th and 3. And it's like, bro, like you should have ran the ball last down.
Right.
If you're still gonna go for the 4th down, you might as well have
Yeah,
ran the ball
facts.
3rd down.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like all together, like the whole team all together will have to replace Rager. I feel like Rager isn't gonna have a significant impact as far as him not being on the field, but I feel like our play calling is just going to take everybody. It's going to be more of our management, more of our offensive coordinators and our coaches managing the game, and Carson Wentz just knowing what to do in situations for
And
us
I
to be.
know that Dougie P is a gambler, but the way the defense has been struggling, we need to stop giving our defense the short side of the field to defend.
Exactly.
Right.
We're not going to win games that way. We need
Right.
to punt the ball. We have a really good punter.
Yeah,
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 no,
Josh.
use
facts.
him.
Yeah, he's
We
pretty
really
good.
do.
Yeah.
Let's use him.
That
But
boy got boot.
speaking of running the ball, are you guys comfortable with our backfield that we have, or were you guys kind of like, damn, we should have really got Freeman, like really pursued him when he was going to come visit us instead of letting the Giants just kind of be like, oh, we just got another RB1 now that Saquon's gone.
Honestly, I'm comfortable with our backfield, but after seeing that they only signed him to $3 million, it's like, damn, like where were we at? Like, if that's all he's going to take, it's like we didn't even try to get in negotiations with him or try and talk to his agent or anything. I mean, at this point, to have the Devontae Freeman in our backup, that would be a good thing. That would take a lot of the pressure and a lot of the weight off of Miles Sanders. Devontae Freeman is also another running back who can catch the ball on screen passes and things like that. We saw that in Atlanta. So I feel like to have him alongside Miles Sanders, that's like another Miles Sanders, except he's just not as elusive as Miles Sanders. So I feel like for us to turn down that opportunity and not even like make an approach, it kind of says a lot about our management and about what we
Mhm.
think we have as our team, as our offense, and we don't have that. Like they're confident in they're okay with what we have, and we don't have a lot right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as our running game goes, I like our running game in the sense of I like Miles Sanders and I like Boston Scott, and I'm impartial to Corey Clement right now. He's not really doing anything, but if we would have been able to get Devontae Freeman, that would have been big. And I think it's more of him saying he wants to be a starter than it is us not really trying. I could be wrong, but I think it's more him just being like, I'd rather go to the Giants and start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah,
I don't know
that's
how
true.
much we would have gave would have. I don't know how much we would have given him anyways. We probably would have been around the same amount of money. I don't think that's a big part of it, but yeah, it would have been nice to have him. Wiseway says he wants Elijah Holyfield to be the bell cow or Michael Warren. Those are run through you type of running backs, and it shows on film. That's why I questioned the coaching staff this year because what is Corey Clement doing that Elijah Holyfield or Michael Warner can't do? We can use him on second and third downs.
We didn't even we cut Holyfield and Camp. We didn't even bring him back. I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't believe so. I don't think he's on our practice squad.
Which was
I believe he got
surprising to
picked up
me.
though.
That was
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it
because
doesn't
surprising
make
to me.
sense.
they keep going with the speed thing. Like they're trying to like I'm not saying Corey Clement has speed, but they'd rather have the guy like Huntley, the fourth the rookie, and that was cut from his own team, and instead of trying to work with like at least have one bell cow on the team. We don't have a bell cow. We have two smaller running backs and like Clement and Boston Scott that can like maybe hide behind the
And
offensive line, but
Sanders does run. Sanders does run tough, but I know exactly what you mean, though. I know
yeah,
what you mean.
there's a difference
Yeah,
between like running tough and like
And then having that build,
yeah,
yeah,
be
just
able
being
to.
a bulldozer,
it's
almost
like a
like
Yeah.
LeGarrette
fullback
Blunt.
kind of.
Like
Yeah, like a
LeGarrette
LeGarrette
Blunt. When
Blunt.
we
Yeah.
had LeGarrette Blunt, even Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard's doing literally nothing in Miami. Trust me, I know. I have him on my
But
fantasy
he
team.
gets like the 1 yard line,
Exactly.
the
So
two
like
yard line. He
we
got like
could
a
we could
touchdown
use
last week.
him. I don't know why we didn't re-sign him. If you're literally gonna go to Miami to do nothing,
But dude,
you
I
should
was
just
pissed
came back.
because we didn't use him enough towards the end of the year last year.
Well, that's
Yeah,
because
that
we
was
learned about
weird.
Sanders.
We
Yeah,
did,
but
yes, but
even
then we could have
still,
had that yin and yang. We could have had that power and that elusiveness,
yeah,
and Sanders probably wouldn't have gotten hurt if we
Maybe.
had
facts.
Yeah,
that.
true.
Like if
Exactly.
and I just think like people don't realize it. Like if you're gonna run Sanders to the ground, he's gonna eventually get hurt. Like and
The running backs I see bowling people over are Boston Scott, which makes no sense. That's the thing. Like seriously, if you go through the highlights of like truck sticks from our running backs, it's gonna be Boston Scott. I don't know if you remember last year when he had the 3 touchdowns against the Giants,
Yeah.
and he basically like dragged the whole Giants
Well,
defensive line
he's
like
strong.
2
Don't get me
yards.
wrong. He's
He is
strong, but
strong,
he's
yeah.
not a.
But he shouldn't be the guy that's
No.
what I'm saying, your short yardage guy. No offense
And I'm
to him.
disappointed in Corey Clement because, man,
Very much so.
his rookie year, he was the shit, bro. He was the
Facts,
shit.
yeah.
That was my guy.
And that's probably what they're holding on
like-
to. It's like he got hurt last year, and they're like, all right, maybe he'll get back to that chip on his shoulder because he was an
Bro, he balled out in
undrafted
the
for a
Super Bowl
rookie,
for us.
and yeah, he
balled out in
made
the
giant
Super Bowl.
plays.
He
Such
had
that
like 10
touchdown.
catches or
I
something
just don't
like that.
understand. I don't know what it was because, like, he didn't. Did he get hurt that following season after?
Yeah, he was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the whole
So
year,
he's
too.
been hurt the last
Yeah,
couple
that's
of years.
why Boston
I don't know.
Scott was really like emerged. But see, that brings up to your point is like, where was Jordan Howard at the end of last year?
Yeah, man.
Like Boston
Yeah.
Scott was getting more plays than he was at the end of the year.
And I mean, if it makes sense if you're not going to pay the guy, like, whatever, you're not going to pay him. You think that these other guys are better. But at the end of the day, you're paying him. So if you're like, it doesn't matter if you're not going to pay him next year. You know what I'm saying? I wish my job was like,
for
don't worry
Jordan
about
Howard,
your job.
I'm pretty sure we
anymore.
gave up like a second or a third for him from the
For
Bears.
Jordan Howard?
When we got him,
We got him for a fourth, I believe.
It was a fourth. Okay.
Yeah, and then we got that. I think we got a fifth back for him as a compensatory. I can't say the word.
Compensatory.
Yeah, there you go. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure we got a pick back from him. So let's piggyback off that real quick. I want to know who you guys think are some players that need to have a big game today for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have come to that conclusion of Arcega-Whiteside really needs to kind of show out. But I think it's not even one particular player, but the linebacking core in general just needs to be able to, if they can show that they can play and help stop the run. If we let up some bigger, like medium-sized passes over the middle of the field, I'm okay with that. We just need to be able to hold down that run game.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. The linebacking core needs to step up. That's my biggest one.
My biggest thing is seeing what in the world is Carson Wentz going to do. Like, he's the leader of the offense, and we need our offense in order to put points on the board. And like we said earlier, these last 2 games, I mean, we put a combined 37 points on the board, which is not like us at all. We're used to putting at least 30 points on the board in one game. Our offense hasn't been effective whatsoever. Our running game hasn't been very effective. I mean, Miles Sanders is doing, he's doing what he needs to do. But at the end of the day, our offense isn't effective like it used to be. We're not running the ball like we should be. We're not passing the ball like we should be. Carson is not playing good on situational downs, third downs, and I feel like it's starting to show. And I feel like I want to see what he as a leader is going to do against this 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals team. Now, I'm not taking anything from the Bengals because like I said, they have a sneaky good team. They have potential. Their defense is solid.
Right.
But this is a game where Carson Wentz we need to see the leadership come out of Carson Wentz. If it doesn't happen this game, then I'm going to say that it's Jalen Hurts' chance to go ahead and step up and see what he can do.
All right.
Oh.
Well, all right. Now,
YouTube don't care what you got to say. He probably got like a call. He probably got a call. I'll say it while I'm waiting for him. But what were we asking? Players that must have a big game. Here it comes. Maybe? No? Yes? Possibly? Well, I'm going to have to say. I mean, I wanted to say linebackers because we do need them to step it the heck up. They need to at some point. I do like the Carson Wentz answer because we do need to see him make a big difference. JJ also. I'm going to have to go with Deshaun Jackson, though, to be honest. I need to see Deshaun Jackson wake up. I need a big game from him, and I need him to come out and really show, why we were so excited for him to come back.
My bad, y'all.
Oh, you're good.
It's all good.
Deshaun Jackson's a huge part of our offense, so I think he's going to be big for us today. If he can really come out and
I hope so. I put him in fantasy today. I was like,
I
know
did
what?
too.
If there's a game he hasn't had a touchdown yet, he's bound to get maybe one today.
Yeah, this might be the game for him.
It needs to be. How about you, brother?
So I'm going to go out and say this. It's not that he's having a bad season, but I think his energy will help this defense I
already know
greatly. Brandon Graham needs to have a big game for us because there's something about Brandon Graham when he's playing good, the whole defense plays good.
Brandon Graham, I love his energy and
I
everything.
love his energy. His energy flows throughout the whole team. And not having Jenkins, we need that guy. We just need
Right.
that guy to step up and just be that leader. He's always been that, but he never had to take on the whole, hold the whole defense accountable. And I feel like Fletch is more of I'm a lead by example. I'm a lead by my play. But Brandon
Mm-hmm.
Graham needs to, make those plays, talk that shit. I know you guys probably all seen the Eagles documentary last year, the Amazon Prime one.
Yeah, bro,
Did you
that was
see how
legit.
Graham was
Yeah,
that
he's the
guy?
man, dude.
He's the
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. He's
that
the
made me
guy
love
that,
him even more. I was like, yo,
you know what I mean? And the fact that we gave him that contract, it shows that we believe in him,
right.
And I think that when he has big games, everybody else on that defense steps up, especially on that line. And our defensive line hasn't been playing too horrible. I think we do need to get more pressure on the quarterbacks. But
Yeah.
dude, we're playing against a rookie quarterback. He is a great quarterback. He's showing that he has greatness in him, Joe Burrow, so far, from what I've seen. But we can pressure him, make him make bad decisions, and really
Facts.
turn this game around. So I
Now
think
you
Brandon
said
Graham has to have a big game.
you brought up energy, which I want to talk about real quick. I feel
Right.
like not having the people at the stands, not having fans and everything is kind of affecting the energy of the team, which needs to, like you said, it needs to change because if we don't get hyped up for this game and go out there and really, we need to blow them out. It's not
Yes.
about winning at this point. We need to really prove that we're a better team than them, that we're not who we were the last 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So that brings me to actually, I wanted to ask a kind of a one-off question because I was reading that Houston Texans actually have interest in AB and Antonio Brown, and that it was like kind of serious interest. So I was just kind of wondering, do you guys think Antonio Brown's actually going to sign anywhere?
Yeah, I think he could. Like the two places that come to mind for me is Houston and Green Bay. Um, Green Bay more because Green Bay already has an established culture. He does, Aaron Rodgers is a veteran quarterback. I think Antonio Brown could go in there and he'll know it's just business as usual. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll go in there and be a distraction to the team. I think he'll go in there and fit right in. People want to talk about how he's a bad distraction in the locker room, but when he was in Pittsburgh, his teammates loved him. Only the quarterback didn't. All his other teammates said he was a great teammate. He worked hard. He was the first one in, last one out. And I think if you put him with Devontae Adams, Green Bay could be dangerous, really dangerous. So I think, Green Bay, Houston, those two teams come to mind. Baltimore, they can always use a receiver over there. But yeah, I think he'll sign somewhere. I think
Should we
he'll
bring him
sign
to
somewhere.
Philly?
Hold on, before you guys answer,
nobody.
before you guys answer that,
Honestly, I'll be alright with that.
Or is that just me?
Say that again.
Did the stream just glitch out for you guys too, or is that just
Yeah, it
my whole
did.
thing just went
Yeah, it
black?
did a
All
little
right,
bit.
I was like, everybody's
Yeah.
acting mad normal. Am I? I was like, did that just not happen? Am I geeking out right now? All right, no, my bad. But I mean, shoot, I would take him in Philly if I'm being honest.
I would
At this
too, but
point.
we're not gonna
At
do
this
it.
point, at this
we
point, we
wouldn't.
need him.
Not gonna do it, man.
Yeah, we wouldn't, but I would take him. We need something, man. We need something to wake us up.
Yeah.
So I was saying to them before you had to do your thing, Brennan. AB is actually getting some interest from the Texans, were some reports that I read. So I was just wondering if I was wondering if you guys thought maybe he would sign anywhere by the end of the year.
The Texans is interesting. I mean, they already have kind of a similar built receivers in Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller. But I mean, they're both injury prone, but they're both smaller, fast receivers. So would the Texans be a good fit? Probably because Deshaun Watson needs a number one. They paid him all this money. Now they need to get all the pieces around him, especially to contend. Because
Fuller is not enough.
They should be a solid team. They should be a solid team. I think AB. I don't know. With the whole everything that happened from the Steelers to then the Raiders to then the Patriots to everything he was putting on social media, going on Juju for no reason, and then the whole baby mama drama, and just everything. This dude was just making a bad look for himself. I know he has people advocating for him, like Deion Sanders and like other NFL like Hall of Fame players, but at this point, how old is he? He's like in his 30s, right?
I
AB,
think
yeah, he's like
he's
31.
30. Yeah, 31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, you got a wide receiver that's in their 30s that hasn't played in a while and comes with a lot of quote unquote like baggage in a sense. So I mean, do you hopefully you get someone that has rehabilitated, has been in therapy and all that, and is going to come in and actually work and want to do well, or are you going to come and get another guy that is drama ridden and it's going to end up having some kind of outside of football case or something like that?
Hopefully we don't like introduce him to no studio engineers or anything, because we don't need that music in Philly. We do not need that music.
To piggyback off of what Brandon said, I kind of feel like he's rehabilitated. I feel like when he comes back, whatever team he goes to, whatever team gives him an opportunity, I feel like he's going to be gracious for the opportunity. I feel like I would personally like to see him go back to New England. I want to see what that Cam Newton, Bill Belichick, and AB combination would be like
Yeah,
because
that'd be fire. That'd
yeah,
be
like
fire.
I really think that in Houston. I mean, I think it'd be a good fit for Houston as a team, but I feel like AB and Bill O'Brien aren't going to get along. I feel like this is going to be like
Right. Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins 2.0. So
That's a
that's
great
what I'm
point.
kind of concerned about if he goes to Houston. But I would like to see him go to New England. Definitely, I think that would be a good team for him to go back to. Will they take him back? Probably not, just because of the situation and why he left the last time. So I don't really see them taking him back. Baltimore, like my man said, that would definitely be a good team to see him team up with Hollywood Brown, which I think is actually his cousin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's his cousin.
yeah, so that would be and Jim Harbaugh, he's a Hall of Fame coach in their offense, Lamar Jackson, like all those Florida boys. So
Hmm.
they I would love to see
That'd
that.
be good to
Yeah.
watch, man. Because
That'd
Yeah,
be
I
a
would
lot
love
of
to see
fun.
that.
how do you game plan for that?
It's you don't.
That's too much
How do you
speed.
game plan for
It's
that,
too much
dude?
speed.
Oh
Right.
They should
man.
just
But
do that after we play them now. So all right, these we're about 20 minutes out of game time, so I know everybody wants to start settling in. So I got two more questions, okay, guys? So I want you guys to really come from the heart on this one. So this is the first one. If we win, what's next? As a team, as the roster goes forward, what do you need to see next? What do we need to do next?
well, I guess I'll go first. If we win, then they just need to take the win for a couple hours and be done with it. Because we need to, if we're gonna win today, this should be a win game. Like, I mean, I know we've been saying that this Bengals team is nothing to laugh about. Like, it's not a garbage team despite being 0-2. But this is a game that, as a people that would be a Super Bowl contender, this is a game that we need to win. And then after this, we need to really prove ourselves by beating a team that's a good team that's also supposed to be in the playoffs. I know we play the Steelers, we play the Ravens. Like, those are
Hmm.
teams that we really like. If we can win those kind of games, then that will really show like, all right, maybe this Eagles team is serious and not this joke that's been the last couple of weeks. So I think if we win, that's a nice little confidence boost. Like, all right, now we got that like behind us. We got the win that we needed, that we're supposed to have, and now let's go attack these bigger teams.
I agree with Brandon. I feel like if we win, then we need to just watch this win. Don't celebrate it. You know, a win is a win. You need to take this win just like you took those losses. You know what I mean? You have to use this win
Hmm.
to learn and to move on so that we can play against the big teams and the big lights on the big stage and win those games as well, because those are the teams that we're going to likely see in the playoffs if we want to go to the Super Bowl. Also, if we win, I don't want us to capitalize off of that win by using it as an example to do the same thing next week. You know what I mean? We still need to be changing our offensive scheme and changing the way that we're moving the ball up the field, especially with us having key guys out. So I don't want us to think just because we won this game against the Bengals that it's okay to go and do the same thing that we did this
Yeah.
week and do it again next week.
Yeah, because it got to be a week to week thing, man. Not every team is the same. Not every team is going to play us the same. And teams look at film on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? The Bengals might have seen something from the damn who do we play last week from the Rams game.
Rams.
You know what I mean? And they might apply that to their game plan. You know, I think we have to. Most important thing if we win this game is we have to focus on the things that we did right and not run away from those things, because even though the game plan might change because of the defense that we're playing next week, we can still do those things really well that we did. We have to just keep pushing on it, because sometimes I feel like we shy away. Like you know, the screen game might work one week and then we don't, and then we run one screen the next week, or we run the ball really well this week. We ran it 30 times really well, and then we run it 10 times next week. I think there has to be some consistency on a week to week, and I think that's the main important thing, especially on offense.
Yeah, I like those answers. Yeah, I think you guys all hit it on the head. You got to take what you did right and continue to do that, and you know, improve it. You know, find different renditions off of it, and you know, see how you can make it. You know, create a winning atmosphere and get a string of wins going. So, on the same token, the last question I want to ask is, if we lose, what's next?
Jim Schwartz got to go. Carson Wentz benched. And Dougie's on the hot seat. Definitely.
I don't think we should bench Carson Wentz. And the reason why is because
I totally agree with you, bro.
We got too much invested in him, dude. Like,
I totally agree.
Way too much invested in him for him to be sitting on the bench. And you know, I would ride it out. You know what I mean? Even if we lose this game, I'd ride it out with Wentz, see what he can do, see if he can turn it around. If for some reason we start off 2-8 through 10 games, then give Hurts the last 6 games to develop. Don't
ruin your playoff chances.
You know, don't ruin your playoff chances week 3 and then throw Hurts in, you know, right away, and then, you know, he starts.
Then you're really out.
Then you're really out of it. You know,
exactly.
Remember this year there's 7 seeds,
exactly.
So we have, you know, we can finish 8-8 and possibly get in, depending on how the conference shapes out. So, you know, we shouldn't jump off a bridge. 0-3. Our schedule would tell me to jump off the bridge. It doesn't get under here. But you know, I would still ride with Wentz. But I agree with you, Rod. Schwartz got to go. If we lose this game, Schwartz got to go, dude. I'm sorry, he has to go. Giving him too many chances at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah. If we lose, I mean, just come on the show. This will be the new venting show. We'll just vent all our feelings away.
Hey, I'm around for it, man. It's better.
We going viral.
It's better not to be.
Turn off all your social media. Turn off everything. Don't watch
man.
ESPN. They're just all gonna clown the Eagles. But I mean, at the end of the day, not every team can be good every year. Every team is not the Patriots. So if you can go within it with that mentality, then maybe having a bad season won't hurt as much. But I mean, if we lose, we're gonna hear the same things. We gotta look at ourselves in the mirror. It's on me first. Like, he says the same thing every single time we lose. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of true though. It's like they need to go back square one. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happens if we lose. We need to win this game. We can't even talk that into
existence. And like
existence.
You said, Brendan, right? Remember what I said earlier? I said expectations versus reality.
Right.
Our expectations is always we're winning more than 9 games, and we're going to win our division, and we're going to have a chance to play at least to go to the NFC Championship. Right. That's what our expectations are. Sometimes the roster, it doesn't shape to the expectations of what we have as fans.
Right.
But, you know, if we start off like 0-5, I would not be opposed to just tanking, dude, and just getting a top 10 pick or a top 5 pick.
I can't pull myself to tanking, because first of all, there's no one to tank for, unless you're really going to say let's go get Trevor Lawrence. For what? I have no idea. I don't think we're a quarterback away. This is a whole team problem.
Hey, but
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, but there might be a solid left tackle.
I can never just pull myself to say
there might be a linebacker, you know.
This year's different though, with all COVID and stuff, and not every team playing.
I don't know. I just can't pull myself.
I'm not gonna say pull myself to tank.
This would be a very depressing podcast if we tanked.
I'm not saying tank. I'm not saying to tank. I want us to play hard every week. But if we're playing hard every week and we still losing, then shit. We tanking.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if we lose, we lose. It is. So, all right, I'm going to throw this up here. Does anybody want to? give a score prediction?
What's
Or
yours? We answered the last two. What's your score prediction?
31-17 Eagles.
Hey.
I'm gonna say 24-21 Eagles. I think it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go 17-14 Eagles. I don't think we're gonna
Jesus.
score that much, honestly. I
I
like
think
him though. You're welcome back anytime because I love
I'll
you.
be back.
You're
Every week we can do
you're
this,
very
bro.
realistic.
Yeah, man, you got to, bro. With this team, like, trust me, bro. Like, at the year after we won the Super Bowl, I thought we were gonna repeat. I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And fucking
Life hits you fast.
Life hits you fast. Yeah.
How about
the
you?
ball went through Alshon's hands.
Yeah, seriously.
I could see it as a 28-14.
Okay. So I'm crazy.
I want us to put points up fantasy wise and just to build confidence. If Carson can get points from throwing short passes, like if our receivers can maybe break a slant to the house like other teams have been doing, then maybe that'll give him the confidence of like, all right, I don't need to throw the Hail Mary every time. Like I can throw these short passes and my boys are going to be able to get yards off that. So if that can happen today and we can get touchdowns and build Carson's confidence up for these wide receivers, then I think, yeah.
Because the more we ding and dip, those defenses, those corners start pressing.
They're creeping. That's what I'm saying.
And that's when you run that play action, you go over the top, So I think we could do it.
So all right. Heck yeah, man. Well, it's almost that time. It's almost that time for some football. So we are going to get out of here. I might come back for the after game. I'm not sure. If we're 0-3, I don't know what I'm gonna do, to be honest. I got my beers, getting cold right now. So hopefully I'm gonna be a happy drunk, but we'll see what happens. But either way, y'all know what time it is. I appreciate everybody that came through.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Shout out to
yes, sir.
Heck yeah. And welcome back, Rod. I feel like the family's back together. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
You already know what it is, but you know what time it is. It's Fly Eagles Fly. Let's get this W. All right.
Let's go.
All right, brothers.
Let's go.